Well,
Thank you, Ms. Burke. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Jacksonville work session on this October 23rd of 2023. I'll call this meeting to order and roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green?
here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
All right, item 3 is the acceptance of minutes. Any questions, comments, concerns, additions, deletions?
No.
Any of those good things? Thank you, ma'am. All right, item 4 is the KiwiBot discussion. Someone gonna bring that to us, or we just want to discuss it? I know it was brought up to us, and we have requested additional information. And if we receive that additional information, if I've seen it, I've forgotten. I don't remember receiving it. One of the concerns was, for myself, was the KiwiBots going across Highway 21. AlDOT had decided that that would be up to us, as much as AlDOT likes to control the right of ways everywhere else. This particular issue became our issue. I'll quit speaking and
I
let
know,
someone
I know
else.
JSU is happy, still can speak to us, they're happy with the way it's going on campus. I'm not sure they care one way or the other about expanding.
I think we're happy with the way things are going on campus. We didn't bring this forth, for consideration or discussion today, so wasn't sure where it was coming from, so wanted to be here to be a resource if you had questions.
Okay, I think it's just that we may have just dropped the ball on it and not either said a yes or a no. And I think the company is kind of asking
And I say let's leave it as.
a no.
That's a no for me.
I'll say no, go. You need a vote, you know,
Chief, what,
expression.
are you not on a committee there at JSU that's looking at some of their infrastructure and sidewalks and overall? Did you not tell us one of the first times we discussed the KiwiBot program?
Yes, sir, and I don't want to say too much to
I
kind
understand.
of put pressure on AlDOT. I don't think it's feasible now. I do think if some of the things that we talked about as early as this morning come to fruition, that it'll be better for KiwiBot to expand into the city.
Okay, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure that was clear.
Would you agree with that, Leah?
I would,
Mayor?
I would.
So-
Just
so-
give it some time.
And we don't have any current businesses operating that are saying this would be something that they are wanting to, because it's a food delivery service. So,
Kind of worried about Masons. What's happening with Masons? Are they being served?
I think they're doing well and, continuing to serve.
Are they
Like-
using?
No.
KiwiBot does not go.
No, sir.
Okay, that was my.
I think there's an expression of, interest from outside businesses from the city to connect in. And that would be separate from the agreement JSU has with KiwiBot anyway.
Well, another thing, even if it stayed on the west of Highway 21, we don't have the infrastructure set up. We don't have the sidewalk infrastructure up there like we need to operate that vehicle, or that, whatever you want to call it. And then especially, definitely don't want it on actually the right of way or in the roadway. I know they have flags and things like that, but still, I think that'd just be more of a headache for fire and police and everyone else involved.
I think our primary should be pedestrian safety. And then once we really have a better grasp on ensuring pedestrian safety, this introduces a different element. Because they're operating in the same area where pedestrians are traversing, and I walk it every single day, and it's never been an issue for me, but there are times when, I think you've probably been there too, Leah, when one food delivery vehicle and you've got a class change time and there's this student, and it stops, I mean, it's got the sensory parts like the robot vacuum it will, but students are trying to be courteous and move out of its way, and it stops, so I think everybody's just so kind to not want to hold up somebody's food delivery, but I think the pedestrian safety aspect, and I think that's what has been that conversation so far, has been focusing on it. I think once we're in a better place pedestrian-wise, I would I have an issue as long as AlDOT, it also has some guidance.
So if KiwiBot is actually asking for a more of a definite top answer, our answer would be no.
Not yet.
Vote. Not now, maybe later.
Yeah.
Not now, maybe later.
Don't call us, we'll call you. Don't call us, we'll call you.
And if they're advocating on behalf of some existing businesses that are clamoring for this food delivery service, that's wonderful, but I would also say, I think those businesses might need to be part of that conversation, as opposed to the KiwiBot saying, hey, we want to provide this as a service, and then going out and saying, well, hey, we can now do this. I know they don't want to get any business on board if they couldn't do it in the first place. I know I would completely respect and understand that, but I think right now we'd be approving something or talking about something that might, I don't know if there's any interest. I mean, we say we know there are businesses interested in using that as a delivery service.
I haven't contacted anybody. I think this came up just because they have asked.
Yeah.
Comment.
Well, there's still other ways for people to get their food delivered, isn't it? I mean, other than a robot running down the road.
Yes.
Put it kind of bluntly, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, if people were starving, they couldn't get the food, that'd be a different thing. But I don't like Andy, I think we just, when the need arises and we can handle it, then we deal with it.
All right, any other discussion on that?
Not for me.
All right, item 5, I asked for this to be placed back on the work session. It's just basically for some clarification. I got asked and I couldn't give a good, definite, clear answer when I was asked, so. What are we thinking on this? Is it 6 and 6:30? Is it 6 and following immediately? Because we do have some people that aren't part of the city that we don't require, but we invite into meeting, the invocation and now the Pledge of Allegiance and things like that. So we need to be clear. We need to be clear on what we're doing, make sure we can get it out.
I think that what I took away from the last time was there's some trepidation on not having a stated time for the council meeting. Also some that if you were to nest the work session within the council meeting itself, that might just be a different way of doing business, but that it is done in other places.
And what did you find? Weren't you gonna look into that?
Yeah, I actually worked up an agenda and some minutes from previous ones and put them together. If y'all want to look at that, I have copies.
Now?
No,
Well, why not look at it? I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
But-
And if you do change it, it'll have to be done, the ordinance will have to be done. The last ordinance that was approved for y'all's stuff is that first one.
Thank you.
There's a copy of the minutes and agenda that I used to put together that say original at the top, and then the others say draft. And those are the ones that I put them together.
So can you statistically give us an idea of, do we fill a full hour for a work session every time? What the mean cutoff is?
This is where you put the work session inside the council meeting.
All right, so it's all
But
one.
Click past the ordinance that's on the front, and then the other sheet, you'll see a draft agenda.
Remember it up at the top.
And it has your call to order is item 1, your invocation is item 2, your pledge is item 3, your roll call is item 4, then proclamations and recognitions is item 5. So that way, anybody who's invited is taken care of immediately.
Mhm.
And then item 6 is your work session with your items in A, B, C, D, E, F, G instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once that's over, if it takes a long time at that point,
Ask for-
council president could say, we're gonna take a 5-minute break to add things to amend the rest of the agenda or go to the restroom or whatever. And then we resume straight into what you normally see as an agenda. And then when you go to the other draft, you'll see the draft minutes where I didn't put all the minutes in this one because it was just, I didn't think that was necessary to put it
That'd be a lot.
completely, but I just kind of summarized some stuff where you could see what it would look like in the minutes, where you would just have 1 minute for your council meeting with your work session information inside that.
It's different, but I like it. I mean,
Well, it gets the job
Yeah,
done, and
certainly.
people know what certain time we're starting, If they wanna come and just to be for the work session, they're here, then they can leave, and we can go in business.
And we do have individuals sometimes tasked at the work session to present items. So just in this draft agenda here during the work session time, we would have 6B, which would be some person named Mark Stevens. So it's still on the agenda. They still know where it would fall in the order, that it would be after the call to order, the invocation, the pledge of allegiance, the roll call, the proclamations, recognitions. That's probably still about the same time it would have been if you started it
Yeah.
at 6.
Mhm.
Give or take 5 minutes maybe.
Why not try it? You know, always change it later on down the road. But we're not taking anything away, we're just streamlining.
That's right. And you're saying the council meeting begins at 6, the work session is a part of the council meeting.
Yeah.
I guess that's gonna be the languaging of that.
Well, and then it may help those who, you know, there's been several times someone will
Mm-hmm.
not come to the work session, not realizing that's where all the work
Right.
happens. And they're disappointed when they come to council meeting and it lasts 7 minutes. So,
I'd like us to
That's
try.
good, yeah.
okay.
So the next thing you'll have to do is we'll have to draw up an amendment to the ordinance to amend that. And we'll work on that for, I guess, next time.
Okay.
And Ben really needs to
We'll
work
have to
on
get with Patty.
heavy
Me and
advertising.
Mr. Randall will have to get with Patty so we can make sure that we're doing that part.
Well, would we want to,
Because this is your most recent ordinance, the one that was on the very front, that's the most recent ordinance where anything was done. And on item 2-58, that's where you change it to 6 o'clock, and you just say that the work session would be included in there. And then item 2-60 is your order of business, and that would need to be changed up to include the work session in there.
do we set this for a time?
What's your thought, Mayor?
I'm okay either way. Don't even want to vote.
What was that? What was that, Mayor? I missed it.
I'm okay either way, I just don't want to have to vote.
Oh, well, we'll keep the population going as best. But set this for, if that gets put on the change of ordinance to begin in any particular time in the future, is that something beginning in the 2024 calendar year?
Well, then that what the blue lolly over here said, or our calendar said. Then what, 'cause
Once
what,
you change the ordinance.
January
of course, it'll go
January
into
8th would be
effect.
the start date?
I don't know if we can put a start, because I'm not well versed on doing ordinances. Richard, do you know, can you put a start date in the ordinance as to when it's gonna begin?
An effective
An effective date, yeah.
Right. So that way it goes.
You guys could choose the effective date, and we could put that inside the ordinance, and it'll go into effect on that day.
And that just.
But we can't, and then that way, and if you wanna try it out I don't know if we could try it out with the work session involved.
Well, Ben just got hit it hard.
But we'll run it in the paper after you approve it. We'll put it on the website. He can put it out there to the social media
We'll take
once it's
January
approved,
to do
saying
all
this is gonna be the
process
change
anyway.
That's
starting
what
on
I'm
this
saying.
date.
It's not,
And we can get
Take
it,
effect.
we
It's
can
just
make
me.
sure it gets out
Four
there
more meetings.
to the best of our ability, to make sure it
January.
gets out there. We can even have a copy of it posted at all of the different buildings in the city, the library, here at Public Safety, City Hall, hard. That way, anybody who needs to see it can see it, so that at least that way we're showing our due diligence and like letting people know that the change has been made.
We good?
I'm good.
Oh, better than I thought. Thank you.
are you good? What are you thinking about it, Tony?
Yes, yeah, I think that's fine.
Decision January 8th.
Yes. That'd be our, well, no, the January would start, that'd be the first of the year, first council meeting. I thought, I mean.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you want it effective date, the first council meeting in January?
anything else on that? Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, that's all. I'm gonna make sure you get all this back.
That's okay, I got plenty.
Item 6 is the banners for Public Square. Chief?
So what would y'all like to know? Now, we've, Bert and I have been working on this and basically come up with 4 different companies that can do it or say they can do it. they're all very close in, prices. We've got one at 90 per banner. One said 50 per banner, but we can't confirm that one just yet. Another fairly local said 75 per banner, and then the one that's up on the digital is 85 per banner. You know, Bert and I, as we were talking, I said, you know, sometimes you can compare apples to apples, but sometimes those apples are red apples to green apples. You know, so our suggestion is to go with a company that we think can do a really good job on this, and buy one season, 10 banners, and see what that turns out to be. And if we like them, stick with them. The Mosca that you're seeing, they do, this is what they do. They do digital print, they do Christmas decorations, they do a lot of design things specifically for this. The other companies do other things as well.
Apparently I messed up. We got them a business card on one of the last conferences. I got an email from them.
From them, well, they
I've seen it, but
also,
they were at Lee.
Look.
Yeah.
we get emails.
But that was
So it's
Mosca.
not just you, but it's, I think it's most city
I remember stuff like that.
staff that gets a lot of those. Brenda, don't you get, she gets something, Ms. Bird gets something, I get something, you know, so we're all getting them from different places. And that's how companies do business.
How does
So-
that compare to what's their price compared to local price or somebody in Alabama?
The ones, the other three that we got are in Alabama. One is Oxford, one is Center, and one is Anniston. The one in Jacksonville could not do a double-sided.
Right.
So they declined to
Yeah.
give me a
So
quote.
this group $90 or where's their price?
85.
This one is the 85.
Or not this one.
This
You
one
mind
is
backing
90.
up?
Oh,
This is, yeah.
You mind
that's the
backing up?
90, okay.
Back on, back up,
These,
that's
right?
perfect.
This is small T's.
Delivery time, once order is placed, because that would kind of tell you what season do we wait to order spring.
Yeah, well, I was thinking we'd go ahead and order winter, but I would talk to each of these specifically before as we place it, like I would place it, not just online, but
Because
on the
winter
phone and
would actually
say.
be placed after Christmas. Or-
Well,
'cause
winter
everybody's
would
delivery.
be, let me spit it out, would be placed when we decorate for Christmas. The thought behind the seasonal ones is winter. That way you don't put it up in the beginning of December, take it down at the end of December. It's good through the end of February. And spring would go up the 1st of March. Trying to make them, you know, get you money's worth.
Right.
So that's why I said we don't want anything specifically Christmas or season's greetings or anything. You want it just winter, whether it's a snowflake or something like that, but
Don't say that.
what, snowflake?
Snow.
Oh, snow?
Uh,
There was a spoon and a
are-
persimmon, so that's kind of in the between.
We'll see.
So, you know,
Are there university banners? I think, Leah, you might have been here at this last meeting, and there was some discussion about updating or refreshing those.
Mm-hmm.
Would this coincide with that time frame where there are some refreshed university banners? Because the square at one time did have
They're alternating.
right, they're
alternating.
alternating.
Would
So,
that
yes.
continue with these
Because the
seasonal?
10 that we have would go along with the 10 that they have, so they would be every other one would be either JSU or,
Would those be the same size?
Yes,
Yes.
we'll order through the
Okay.
same company. I actually
Okay.
just sent you a text to show what our design was gonna
Awesome.
look like. We're just sitting on go, but wanna do the same company, so it's the same quality material and everything like that, so.
Do you want to see what she just sent me here?
Mm.
As the Jack State, the friendliest campus in the South.
Oh, I love that.
So I think that that's important because that does tie in. I was in another university town recently, and I enjoyed seeing their downtown banners that it was the name of the city and home of that university. And this is the same thing, you know. I mean, it's putting it right there together, that you're demonstrating the unification. I like it. It might be an appropriate or not appropriate time to talk about too, as we're coming into the city on the north and south 21. I think it would be time for us at some point to talk about refreshing our Welcome to Jacksonville signs. We're using the old city mark on it and the old university mark on it.
I spoke with a gentleman a couple years ago, that's friends of ours, that was in the sign business, and he was
Okay.
gonna look at that, but he retired
Yeah.
and got busy with other things. But yeah, that's definitely, that needs to be refreshed. I don't know if you've traveled through Atlanta or into Douglas County, what they've done on the interstate is very kind of grand,
Mm.
probably more than we, I think just simple
Oh, yeah, I didn't
refresh.
see that, yeah.
Yeah,
That was-
simple refresh, colors, paint,
Yeah.
emblems, because it doesn't match what we represent or what Jackson represents. You know.
We need at least one more sign to do the board.
Well, and that's my next piece there too. I think once the study is done with Aldott on 204, I think there's an opportunity to maybe move our current Welcome to Jacksonville sign that was done by the same person we were talking about, maybe a little bit further east. I mean, it doesn't have to be at the city limit sign, but
Right.
maybe we can work with the university coming right out from Jim K Stadium and the 204 Nesbitt Lake Road intersection.
We had discussed that, I remember who all was in the meeting,
Yeah.
to push that sign kind of right around, right behind the stadium. And that kind of, there's a void, there's a.
Yeah,
grass
but there's
area
that
there.
big ditch
Mhm.
right there right now. So maybe that is something that, not, just in the same things here, just, I like these though.
It'll work out well.
And I like the idea of just doing right now seasonal if the turnaround time is, what'd you say? the
Well, we
turnaround-
want to see if they're gonna last. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if they hold up good to the weather, if they fade, if, you know, because I don't want to have to order them every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, because you never know what you're getting until you actually can
Get it.
see it.
Like a box of chocolates.
Yes, you never know what you're gonna get.
All right, what happens if you put them up and they touch one or two of them, tear up? Where you gonna put it back in its place?
Well, that's what that was gonna ask. If we're ordering 10, then we go, well, if we've got
Might
10
as well
poles,
get 12.
we get 12. And
Okay,
then you've got
but
a,
I don't like the
Yeah.
idea of waking up one morning and you got a hole right there and you can't do anything with it.
You can always put it back.
Kinda had to do with the
holy
flags.
banner, Batman.
And
Uh-huh.
I thought about the mayor, I thought about
Yep, could.
welcome to place.
There'll be at least one on each side.
Well,
There's no photos of you as mayor, though. That's what we discussed that a lot.
we could get some artificial intelligence generated photos of the mayor.
With his arms open, welcome.
Is there
There
a
you go.
chance? I know having an extra is ideal, but I've thought too with the train depot. I don't know if there's an existing pole there where one of these banners would fit and not look out of place. But that kind of, it's not on the way in, like Germania Springs would kind of be that way in, I guess, and then and kind of on the way out there around Cedar Trace. But maybe at the community center or at the train depot, find a place to put up one of these.
Possibly.
What do you think?
I hadn't looked at both there, so I don't know.
I think once we get
I'd have to
these
go
and we find
investigate.
out what
See
kind
what
of
that looks
quality
like.
and what they work, I think that's a good opportunity
Right.
to
'Cause I
expand on
mean,
that.
even like with the city flags, I always order extra
Mhm.
and try to stay
Ahead
ahead of those, and American flags and Alabama flags, just trying to, you know, if one's needed, people can call me and say, hey, you got any of them? So,
So we're going with 12?
I would at least.
Yeah.
y'all want to do the same?
Kind of work, that's smart thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice.
Anything else on
On that,
that? On
no.
that, no.
Well,
Right.
good.
All right, move on to any other business.
I have two questions. So like, where do we stand on we're gonna like maybe do a committee on how to maybe generate some more revenue?
That was discussed. Kind of wanted to hear what everyone had to say and who wanted to be on that committee.
You know how I feel on it. I think if we don't do it, we're overlooking a good opportunity at the time. And I'll be on it if nobody else wants to be on
Well,
it.
I think you're right. I think there's times there you need to, there's a lot of things you need to address every so many years. We've not addressed anything like this since
We did.
17.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we?
I've been working on some ideas, but I mean, I'll stand back and if any of the other want to do it, but I'll be glad to do it.
I know we have discussed, a couple of us maybe, different times, a lot of this that we kind of like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this would want to be, what brought this to us is to gear the monies collected into public safety.
Yes.
Am I wrong? Is that not what we kind of?
No, I think that that's one of the areas that we know public safety is, you know, if you have to start making cuts across a budget, to me, public safety is one of those, it's probably gonna be, at least for me, it's gonna be one of the last areas,
Yep.
if it's touched at all. But I do know that both Chief Cadle and Chief Wood and their respective command staff have ensured that the residents of Jacksonville are taken care of, and it's really, those areas, you know it better than anybody here. You don't need it, you don't know you need it until it's there, until the need is there. And I think that there's some of the things that they've been able to do has caught us up to where we need to be, so that when people do need something, those services are being provided. So, yes, I think earmarking certain items for public safety would be ideal, that would help offset and allow maybe those budget dollars to go elsewhere in the budget, whether it be general government or wherever else it needs to be. But that might provide just an additional revenue stream over time.
Well, where we're sitting, we know in 2 to 3 years, what we have now is not gonna be sufficient to cover everything we've got for both parties. So, you know, it's just to me.
Costs, as always, they rise, costs rise, and we saw that more than anything when we were dealing with this year's budget.
Yep.
So I think we need time for us to sit down, whomever wants to be part of the committee. I was leaning to seeing if the two chiefs would want to be part of it also.
I think that'd be a good idea. You have an opinion?
Not tonight.
And if there needs to be another council person, I'll balance out there the best I possibly could, but, I don't know if I
I
could.
don't know, are you sure?
The mayor has no comment, he's just sitting there,
No comment.
oh no.
I'm just thinking about, I won't be able to get both chiefs on there, I don't want to be on there, they all.
Well, that's just it.
Well, here's what we're trying to do.
That's what we're trying to do. We'll open up another revenue stream for the rest of the city. We don't have to give them as much. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So you two okay? Sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Cody,
You
you,
want to be?
Them
take
joint-
my
You brought it
break
up, but if you
No,
wanted to.
no, I was just curious where we are. Good.
all right, so it'll be the 4th.
And then, I don't know if it's helpful to have any other, Ms. Grant or anybody else.
I think let's get into the teeth of it, and then.
Because
we
there's
can
gonna be some
bring
things
Ms.
we need
Grant
some
in.
financial
Yeah.
acumen, or, just the
There'll be
awareness.
Others, your city clerk may have some information that from time to time that she can add.
But I think let's form it, get it a game plan, and then that way we're not wasting their time with stuff that's not imperative what they need to do.
So I look forward to some very great ideas coming from you folks.
We'll have some kind of idea,
Come on, son.
right, Andy?
Right.
Anything else?
I know that Tony and I, we've talked about it, is if,
But we don't
I
have.
was gonna wait, I'll make sure, because I think the mayor,
For me to have
he
a
might have
meeting
heard about some of this
with
too.
the full people.
Or it actually might even predate me, or it's close to my time.
Uh-oh.
Just get
That's
the
fine.
voices. All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I had Commissioner Patterson reach out about some, whether I don't know if they were outstanding or whatever it might have been, if there was something that we were working out with him. And so, Mayor, is there something that we're still waiting on to receive, or?
I think we're up to date.
Okay, all right. All we've got to do is get something on our agenda for the next meeting, is that right?
We really meant to have it on here tonight, I missed that.
That's fine. So I think, but our next meeting will be 6 November because we've changed our schedule. Is that right, Brenda?
Yeah, I
To
think that's
accommodate
right.
for
I
the
think you're-
Thanksgiving
I
holiday?
believe so, I'm double checking. just to make sure.
Yeah,
I think so.
November 6th and
November
November
6th.
20th.
I won't be here.
Yes,
I won't be here either. Me and
On the
Indiana?
20th?
No, on the 6th.
Well, the next day is when we travel to, the conference, Sherry.
That was really nice.
No, that's fine. I knew I had a phone
I
call.
thought we voted on it last time, but apparently we didn't.
That's fine.
And I feel like I didn't.
So we do meet the
But he
6th.
realized it was gone. He doesn't realize we not gonna vote on it tonight, but I told him to take care of it.
Okay, I can let him know. or if you want to.
And this will bring us caught up with him
For the moment.
for the moment.
Okay.
November 6th and November 20th.
Yes, we're November 6th and
6 and 20 is what's scheduled.
All right, thank you.
No, thanks, thanks.
Thank you, well said.
You have anything?
One other thing, we're getting close to having our cost of the Eastwood School. I talked to Randy last Thursday, and he was trying to have it either Friday or the first of this week. So we should have that, and then the committee can get together and make some decisions there, and I'll keep you where we are and whatever, but hopefully we're near. And we've gotten some money in. I know several people have sent money in.
I
don't
got
know if
some
it's-
yesterday.
Anybody sent $500,000 or $1 million yet, but I know we're getting some money in, so.
I noticed.
Hey, Patty, just send me the message.
Yeah, we'll get-
It won't be.
We're holding it.
Can you hold it until Wednesday?
You already see that, well, that's
I
good.
gave it to her today.
Yeah, it's sent it. So maybe that was the addition. That was the addition, so it probably is on the 9th. I didn't even look at that addition, Bill.
Man.
Tony, has Tim checked on any iPad prices?
No, I do not believe that. You and I spoke to him, and then Chief Wood also mentioned about the Chromebook.
Yeah, that's what she said, that's what Patty
Yeah.
said.
Surface?
I know she sent an addition, but
Surface, maybe comparing the two.
I didn't look at it.
Sherry and I have been discussing that, try to get away from the paper. You know, one time we had
The mini?
little
ones that we borrowed or was
The little mini.
or donated, the mini blue ones. Those of us who are eyesight's getting, I need a little larger font.
Yeah, we do. You
So-
wouldn't know about that, would you, Andy?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
He just can't hear it. He can see, but
He
he
can't
can't.
hear.
I don't see it on-
So
on
can,
this
if
amendment.
the
There's a
chief
budget
and
in
Tim could maybe give us a proposal next meeting, and see what's the best way
Yeah,
to.
Marion, you,
best way
I
to
don't
go.
see it on that.
I know-
on that.
Tim and I both have used both of them, so Tim may have an opinion on on which one he likes the best and which one works the best. Tim?
Tim, I hate to catch you off guard, but we have some time. If you have an opinion, I personally would like to hear it. Nothing like being put on the spot. Glad you're back.
Thank you.
where's he been?
I'll be out for surgery at the end of the month, FYI. So y'all can remember me. Gallbladder.
Oh.
TMI, right? Can you restate the question?
We've been discussing, something more of a device instead of doing all the paperwork.
Yeah. So, yeah, had several conversations with Councilman Laster, and the chief has an opinion, I know, but I personally like a consumption device for something like that, like an iPad. But you can also get into a Microsoft Windows tablet, and the problem you had with the previous iPads you had, they were old generation. They were new, they were the small versions, but it depends on your purpose. If you only want to consume information, the iPad's a great way to go. If you want to be involved in being more creative, it's a little bit more tedious to be involved in that. Won't go into all the whys. But so, for instance, if you want to create your own documents on that particular device, you might prefer a Windows tablet with a keyboard. But you can get a keyboard
It is
for
inconsistent.
the Apple devices. But personally, I think the Apple is a great consumption device. I think a cloud-based service to distribute your documents. We currently are subscribers to Google Workspace. We can take advantage of that. We can set up shared folders. In the past, City Council has done that, but it was done on a Gmail. It's still Google, but it was done on a Gmail service, and we didn't have the management capabilities that we currently have. So that's already been paid for, so we could establish a structure so that documents could flow into that, and you could have those in real time and not have to have copies sent, not to have it emailed. It would also eliminate this problem we have Sometimes, you get very large documents and Patty can't send them to you in the agenda for that would eliminate that. I think it would be good to maybe schedule an actual demo so you see both devices.
What would you, what's the cost? What's the cost? I mean, that's.
Fire tax has it, don't worry
I'm
about it.
looking around the table, and I believe everyone has a
iPhone.
do not?
Yeah.
I use both devices. I use an iPad and a Surface Book on
Oh, you're
almost every single
talented
day.
though, you're young.
No, but from a transactional standpoint, the iPad would be great if we're going to be using it from a like if I use the word work or a more transformative. Hey, take this, add this, do that. The Surface Book's going to beat the iPad when it comes to that.
But
I
you're
think-
going, like the Surface Book, you're going to talk $2,500.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
And the
think the
iPad,
cost
you're
is
going to talk $500 or $600.
correct. I don't think I think Surface Book is well beyond what we would need just from a.
Yeah, if you just talk the low-end Microsoft Surface with a keyboard, you're going to be probably in the $700, $800, $900 range. But you're not going to have all that Surface Book power behind it. You'll still have the Microsoft Windows. But the one reason I prefer the iPad's iOS device is the ease of use. Everybody's used to using a cell phone. Even if you have an Android phone, the interface is that tablet interface. So the click, touch, call up a document. And this is kind of one reason I like it, and it's going to sound like it's a negative, but it's not. It's much more difficult to multitask on an iPad device. But that's why I like it as a consumption device. It's a great reading device because you call up a document and read it. Now you can have multiple documents open, you switch, but you're not going to have that in your face, multiple windows open at one time for the most part. I have to say for the most part because you can, do things like that. But, as far as supporting a disparate group of people that's all trying to get important documents, I think that would be a great way to at least research first and see if you like it. If you didn't, move on to a
Well, then you
document.
can take our phones though, be tied to the
Well,
iPad, right?
right. Well, yeah, if you use a cloud-based service, which can have security behind it and all, like on the Google Workspace cloud, so you can actually call the same document up on your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, but you're going to have the small screen. That's the only issue you're going to have there, the small screen. But then if you have the bigger device, you can have basically full page size, to read.
Well, for us old people, can you get a 17-inch one?
Well,
Maybe heavy.
An iPad Air.
well, there's been talk about, but like a 12.9-inch iPad is huge. It really is huge. I use a 11-inch iPad, and it's very nice. I use Windows device. I rarely recommend anything other than a Windows device for somebody because it's just what the typical business model is of producing content and all. But I don't see y'all, for this particular need, being producers of the content as much as the readers and consumers of the content. So you want something that's quick, easy, and just works. And I'll give you another reason I don't like, I can't say I don't like Windows. It's just for this environment. Like tonight, when I opened up that laptop we used for streaming, guess what? The first thing that was Windows updates. And so I don't know what it took, about a half hour, because that gets used once every 2 weeks. So I turn it on. I got to wait a half an hour. But I think you would be very pleased. But I think we could demo everything you would want to know on the existing tablets we have. And the only difference would be, are the existing iPads that we have. You just have the small screen, and but you could see how it would work with everything, and then you can just envision you would probably want a larger screen than that. So if you wanted to schedule something like for the next work session to.
Do we really need a demo?
I don't.
I don't.
Look, if we
Because
just go read
everybody
all
knows
of
how-
that's
That's
he's
what
the
we have
expert.
already.
Yeah.
We personally have. No, I don't.
We trust your opinion.
Anything bigger than this iPhone, I'll be appreciative. I can see it.
I just, you know, when you talk about the cost, you talk about the amount of storage, that's what drives the cost of the iPad. And you talk about whether you want to have iPad Air, iPad Pro. Probably could get by with iPad Air just fine for this. Let Ben chime in. You're an iPad user, right?
Yeah, if you're just gonna read, then really the cheapest model's gonna do it for you. Screen's gonna look good, it'll be easy to see.
The latest Air models, actually the case design, the interface, everything looks just like the Pro. It's a very good situation. That's like a 10.9-inch screen versus maybe, I don't remember the exact size of the one y'all had before, like a 7 roughly.
It was a baby.
Which one are you gonna be able to teach the easiest?
It doesn't matter what you get. It's going to be the same interface. In
Okay.
teaching, if you want to drop by, schedule an appointment,
Okay.
or just, you know, say, hey, I need a
All I
help.
do is I just use this right here, and that's it. That's how detailed I get on everything.
Your
Well, it would be very similar.
Grandkids.
It would be very similar to that. The only thing you can't do with your phone is have that bigger screen.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts. So, any question?
So, where we going with it, Jim? We gonna do a demo or?
Purchasing something like that, is that something that we do out of government
We
contract?
can get it
or-
from contracts. I mean, you don't have to bid it. If you just decided, you know, you wanted their state contracts and National Purchasing Consortium.
All right.
So you said what, 500 for an iPad? Beginning.
Yeah, let's say begin, but not much more, you know.
So that's 5.
But it depends on how much storage you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Which I don't think is. as-
I think you want to rely mostly on the cloud-based storage.
Correct, yeah.
And that, it's kind of seamless, but you do have to have internet connectivity to get your documents at least the first time. And one good thing about the Google Workspace, it has offline document capability. So if you open something, you can have it configured to save it locally. And so you don't, you know, if you're traveling and you're not going to have internet. I'm assuming you don't want to pay the monthly subscription for cellular, but you might want to.
Depends on how many other revenue streams we can tap
Exactly.
into.
Wait a minute, why, if we're gonna be somewhere that has internet, why do we wanna pay for it just to ride down in the car?
That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming you wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I would,
I will say most places that we're interfacing with now, you'll find it.
would it help Cody though when he goes hunting?
Yeah, or no, it wouldn't really.
No.
I can't get dialed in.
So, how many would you be looking at? I know there's 5 council persons, but would like any other people need to be
Mayor?
in it?
So,
Six.
what is it?
And see, we can take pictures of you while you're at the conference.
And would you
Okay.
want a keyboard with
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, I think it would be important to add that peripheral case.
with a keyboard and trackpad, so you can use it like a
Like a
de facto
laptop, yeah.
laptop.
That's
if you
what I
want.
had in the
Yeah,
past.
now you're
Worked
talking.
pretty well for me, but I'm not
You
going
can take
to
notes
create
while
a
we're-
document.
That's how my Surface Pro is.
And it can be in one place.
Well, that way when we're in meeting, we can set it all up right here, then we can type it.
So you wanna
We'll
move
just
forward
copy
with that?
Andy's.
I do. If y'all are for it, I'm for it, I'm good.
Well, I can get the quotes, and if y'all come up with the money.
Or Mayor put a thumbs up, so we'll.
Yeah, he wanted one, so.
Turn to him.
So get a
Yeah,
quote
it
for
means it comes
6.
out his budget, right?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Thanks, Tim. And, good luck, we'll be praying for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I put it off till after Thanksgiving, y'all can figure out why.
You're gonna exhaust that gallbladder one more time, right?
Put some more stress on it.
Exactly.
Oh,
It is?
Yes.
I didn't even look.
Asking that, I thought, well, it's
Okay.
it's on
Any other business? We good? All right. All right, we'll adjourn and come back in about 15 minutes. Thank you all.
well, thank you.
About 15 minutes, or 15 minutes.
I had 6:44
I mean-
for you.
All right, I got the thumbs up. It is now 7 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Jacksonville Council meeting on this October 23rd of 2023. Call this meeting to order and ask you all to please stand. The invocation now will be given by Reverend Steve West from the First United Methodist Church. And then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Let us pray together. Gracious God, as the seasonal weather's changing, we're experiencing vibrant colors as well as lowering temperatures. Remind us in all that of the beauty of your creation. And as we cook hot soup and tea and coffee are brewed and fires are built, remind us of the warmth that comes from being together in this great community. And in this season of the life of the city of Jacksonville, may her citizens remain strong and committed to the common good. And be with us all. Be with the city council today as they represent us. Guide them in their decisions. Correct them when they need a correction. Grace them with a sense of the bigger picture. And guide them with your peace. Guide their steps, open their eyes, and help us all to support them and all of our endeavors as a community. We thank you for your presence, and we ask for your power to move and work among us. And now, with respect for all faiths that might be represented in this room, I offer this prayer in the name of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. In his name we pray. Amen. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Thanks, sir.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster? Here. Mr. Galloway?
Here. Adoption of minutes. A motion and a second. Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 60, adoption of the agenda. Maybe you have some changes?
We do. To the main agenda, add item 14A, consider action to approve the employment of the following. A is Cameron Austin Coleman, police officer, range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the resignation of Michael Kraft. And item B is Theodore A. Copeland, police officer, range 18, upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the promotion of Jacob Collins. Also to the main agenda, delete item 23, consider action to adjourn into an executive session under the provisions of the Code of Alabama, section 36-25A-787, to discuss the preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade and economic development. And then finally, to the consent agenda, add item 17A, budget amendment. One is fire, increase account number 10-02-6102-00-6144 in the amount of $11,992.25 for insurance payment for repairs to engine number 2.
Okay, a motion to accept the agenda as amended. A motion is the next second.
Good point.
Instead of deleting the executive session, we need to amend that to just regular adjournment, because if you just delete it, then you don't have an adjournment.
Can we just vote no? Is it going to? Yeah. Angela, and I haven't changed any of it?
We still don't have I don't have a adjourn. Correct? We still don't have an adjourn. So we're clear, we're gonna.
We would amend item number 23 to adjourn.
All right.
All right, do I have a motion?
Yes, sir, you got it.
Do I have a second? Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 7 is a proclamation. Do we have any here to receive the proclamation? I don't believe so, so we'll move on to item 8, public comments concerning any agenda item. Anything that's on the current agenda that's just been approved, if you'd like to address the council, it's time to do so. Seeing no one come forward, we move on to item 9.
Consider action to accept the bid report for bid number 24-02, purchase of vehicles for utility maintenance department number 1, and approve resolution number R-2192-24 to award bid for same to Larry Puckett Chevrolet Incorporated and authorize the mayor to sign any necessary documents.
So moved, sir.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 10.
Consider action to accept the bid report for bid number 24-03, purchase of vehicles for utility maintenance department number 2, and approve resolution number R-2193-24 to award bid for same to Larry Puckett Chevrolet Incorporated and authorize the mayor to sign any necessary documents.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 11.
Consideration of resolution number R-2194-24, approving the city of Jacksonville's participation in the state of Alabama sales and use tax holiday as authorized by Alabama Act number 20-2012-256 for the year 2024, severe weather preparedness sales tax holiday.
So moved. Second. Motion in 2 seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 12.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Board of Education for use and improvement of outdoor recreation facilities, baseball field, per the attached.
So moved.
Sir. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with Jacksonville State University for forensic services, consultation, and education, per the attached.
So moved.
Second. Motion in 2 seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14.
Consider action to approve the FY 2023 M&M's write-off list, per the attached.
So moved. Sir. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14A.
Consider action to approve the employment of the following. A is Cameron Austin Coleman, police officer, range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the resignation of Michael Kraft. And item B is Theodore A. Copeland, police officer, range 18, upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the promotion of Jacob Collins.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Just like to say welcome. Welcome. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 15.
Consider action to approve the promotion of the following. A is Christian Raul Lopez, fire engineer paramedic, range 12A, effective October 25th, 2023, due to the reclassification of Dustin Trammell. Item B is Zach Birchfield, fire engineer paramedic, range 12A, effective October 25th, 2023, due to the resignation of Matthew Hodman.
So moved.
Sir. Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 16.
Consider action to accept the resignation of the following. Cody Kilgrove, laborer for card, effective October 13, 2023.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 17.
Consider action to acknowledge the retirement notification of the following. Mark Williams, building inspector, effective November 30th, 2023.
So moved.
There's no second.
If we don't
If we don't acknowledge that, he's gotta keep working, doesn't he? Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I know his time is coming from a celebratory standpoint, but would not miss this opportunity to say acknowledging his years of service or going to be missed.
Definitely so. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, no- motion carries. Item 17A.
It's budget amendment, and then item 18 is purchases over $7,500.
So moved.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 19 is public comments for any general item. If you have anything you'd like to say or address the council, this is the time to do so. Seeing no one come forward, move on to council member remarks. Anyone? Okay, no council member remarks. Move on to the mayor's report.
Just to remind you of a few things coming up, put on your calendar, Restoration for Youth Basketball is ongoing, so if you see somebody out there that has children ages 5 through 14, you might want to make them aware of that. Then on tomorrow, the Not So Haunted Halloween Trail Trek will be coming up at the community center, so that's tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So, and then on Friday, the library will be having a haunted walking tour in Jacksonville. So you might want to be aware of that. It starts at 8:30. It could be a little more scary at that late. And then on Saturday, a very scary Halloween party. It starts at 5 p.m. and it goes on forever, I guess, until everybody gets tired. Trick or treating, spooky stories, live music, games, and activities. A lot of things happening on Saturday afternoon on the square. And then, of course, Friday is the Veterans Day celebration at JSU in Fair Montgomery Auditorium, 10 a.m. So everyone's invited to that. And then finally, on Saturday, November the 18th, Christmas Village, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Jackson Community Center. This is always a great event. Make sure you get that on your calendar, pass that word around. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For those who think there's nothing to do in Jacksonville, they just need to pay a little bit more attention. And thank you, Ben, for helping those people do that. Any other businesses come to the council? All right, hearing none. Item 23. Adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
First, you got it.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Y'all have a great evening and thank you for being here.